So first of all, I am so happy that you're watching this, and I'm glad you want to build your emotional resilience and you're into the Start Rate Resilience Training Program. And the first thing that I want to say to you is this: we are not going to start identifying our emotions. The reason why is because before we can even do that, the number one thing that we have to do is make sure that we keep a voice in check. And the voice that I'm talking about is called our inner critic. Now, you're probably wondering to yourself, when did I get this inner critic? Was this something that I purchased? I don't remember, on Amazon or something like that. Absolutely not. We are hardwired with this voice that at all time is trying to help us by telling us what we could be afraid of. I know that sounds kind of weird that you would want a voice to give you fear, but 200,000 years ago, if your friend Sid went out into the field and got eaten by a dinosaur, fear was your best friend. It kind of remembered everything that happened in that moment. We're not Sid. Dinosaurs are, sparse. So I think we're in the position where we can let this voice go. We can't get rid of it, but we can silence it. And one of the easiest ways we can silence this voice is by using what I call the coach. All right, so the coach is this voice that we create for ourselves. This does not come hardwired. We need to make it. And it is exceptionally important that we do, because what we want out of the coach at all times, just follow the before the coach because it's our acronym, is we want T, which stands for trustworthy. And when trustworthy, we mean we can trust that that coach is going to give us constructive criticism. We want to know that it's going to have our back. That's the H. And what I mean by that is that it's literally going to be able to celebrate our wins with us, tell us everything that we do right. Lord knows, I know I don't spend enough time on my wins. I'm sure you don't either. So we really need some help with that. And the last thing is the E, and it energizes us, our coach. And that means it motivates us to do the things that we don't want to do, kind of gets us off the couch, gets us moving. And we need that voice, and that's the voice we're going to listen to when we first start to stop and identify our emotions. And that's what we're doing now. The very first thing you're probably wondering is why do I have to do this in the first place? Why is it so important to stop and identify my emotions? Well, think about it like this. We have 34,000 emotions that we can feel at any given time. If we have that many emotions within us, they are there to give us information. I can literally maybe identify 10 or 12. The best of us can. We just really weren't ever taught about them, but they are as important and as bona fide as any reason or any other information that we've ever gotten. So we really want to get a hold on what information they're giving us. But if we want that, we have to stop fearing the emotions that are uncomfortable. So that's why we want to know this. And the number one way we can get to know our emotions is the first, stop the storyline. Because there is a story that we are telling ourselves at all times that keeps emotions going. And when we tell ourselves those stories, yeah, we're not confident that that fear or anxiety is ever going to go away. Yeah, I wouldn't be either. So we need to drop the storyline. Absolutely. And then the second thing we need to do is get in the pocket with those emotions. So getting in the pocket with your emotions simply means once you drop that storyline, I want you to be present and just feel what it feels like in your body. Use your five senses. Identify your fear or your anger, your frustration, your shame, whatever emotion you're feeling. We really need to know it. Now, I'm not a sadist. I'm not asking you to learn this because I just want you to sit in uncomfortability. Actually, I'm trying to decrease the amount of time it's in your body and its intensity. Because truth be told, the better we know our uncomfortable emotions and we allow them to tell us what they need to tell us, the shorter they are in our body and the less intense they are in our body. And I don't know about you, but I don't need fear to take up that much time in myself. So what I am looking to do is identify it. And after we know what we're feeling, there's no reason to sit in that anymore. What we want to do at this point is simply ask ourselves, why is this emotion there? Now, this isn't a philosophy class. We're not asking this for the heck of it. The reason why we want to know why an emotion is there is because we want to know why or what is causing that emotion, because we're going to want to know what we can do about it, especially if it's an emotion that we don't want in our body. And usually, what I call why is our jab. Our why gives ourselves space from the emotion that we're feeling. So sometimes we're going to need space from fear. We're not going to want to be in that pocket too long. And by giving ourselves that space, we are able to see that we are not fear. We are not anger. We are not the emotion. We feel the emotion's ours, but we are not it. And the minute that we can see that we are not the emotion, it becomes a lot less scary to be in it. And we can use that information it provides or choose to use that information it provides or not. It's really our choice. And that allows us at this point to get to the most important question. What is it that we want? Now, truth be told, that might be the $1 million question. You might want $1 million. You might think that you want a trip to an island, or you want a Corvette, or you want the perfect relationship. Well, the reason why you want all these things is because they're going to give you a certain emotion. They're going to make you feel a certain way. You believe that. They've promised you that. Well, I'm promising you something different. They won't. And if they do, it won't last very long. So what you have to realize is that you want the responsibility to make your own emotions, because honestly, it is your responsibility to make your emotions. They're created inside you, they're felt inside you, and if there is a certain way you want to feel, wouldn't you want the ability to be able to create that emotional state for yourself? So what I would like to do at this point is start to think about, not only do I realize what emotion I want, but now I'm going to tell you, how do I create that emotion for myself? So the first thing I want to talk to you about is external tools. Now, it's not actually a toolbox. We're not going to fix anything except ourselves. But when I'm talking about external tools, I want you to think about things that you know and activities that you can do that have you feel an emotion that you want to feel. Now, for me, when I run, I feel happiness, I feel joy, I feel confidence. For you, it might be music. You might love playing an instrument. You might love reading a book that makes you feel hopeful, or watching a movie that makes you feel joy. Whatever it is, that is a tool that you can use that can help you build those emotions and that emotional state that you want. Now, the other tools that we're talking about are internal tools. Now, they're inside your mind. You're not a machine. You're not the Tin Man. What you are is literally creating those emotions in yourself through your memories, through your imagination, through your visualization. Memories hold all kinds of emotions. They last inside your body so long, especially the ones that matter to you. And you can use your imagination to create all kinds of emotion, especially when you visualize success and what you want and what you're going after. I mean, think about how strong it is when you wake up from a dream and you feel those emotions in your body. You didn't even ask for that. It wasn't even something that you wanted, but those emotions were created inside you by your mind. So don't count it out. Your mind is where all of that emotional creativity is there internally for you to use. So that's the second way that we're going to do it. Now, once we do this entire process, what I'm going to ask you to do is review everything that's happened so far. Well, now everything that happened is a lot. I mean, I'm not talking about from the beginning of time. I'm talking about everything that happened while you were trying the Start Right resilience training. Now, I know that it didn't go perfectly. You could tell me something different, that's fine. But I know the first time that you did this, it didn't go perfectly. Probably not the fourth time, not the eighth time. I'm still training in it, and I'll be training in it my whole life, because we always mess up. We're human, we make mistakes. But what's really valuable about reviewing everything that happens is that not only do we remember the mistakes, but we remember the wins, the things that we did well. And we really need that. That's very important, because we're not programmed to record wins. Again, think about that inner critic that we're kind of leaving behind. That's recording fear. That's recording life-threatening situations. That's letting us know that we've messed up. We don't have any problem remembering that. I have no problem remembering when I messed up. What we really want to be able to do is write down everything that happened, and once we'll be able to do that, then we can take in our wins and review our setbacks. I'm going to tell you about that. So when we're talking about reviewing everything that happened like we just did, and we're talking about taking in our wins and reviewing our setbacks, what I'm talking about is actually writing 2 lists down. Because every time we practice this, like I was saying, we want to reinforce what we did well, and we want to be able to learn for our setbacks. We're not trying to ignore what went wrong. We're not trying to pretend it never happened, put on a smiley face. We want that information. That information is valuable to us, but it's not valuable to us all the time. Different pieces of information are valuable at different times, and your wins are valuable when you were trying to get out the door. If you're a runner and you're trying to go run again and you're not feeling inspired, that's when you want to review your wins, and you can write them down on, a separate piece of paper. And then you can review your wins whenever you want to get out the door. You need a little bit of inspiration and motivation, and you can relive those memories, use some of those internal tools, right? And when you come back from that run or whatever it is that you do that's hard for you to get out and try, you can review your setbacks then. Because then if you review your setbacks, you're more in the ability to learn. Remember, you're reviewing those setbacks with the coach in mind, not the inner critic. We're not listening to that voice. We want constructive criticism. We want to be able to take those setbacks and make them useful. So that way, whatever we are trying to do, whenever we are trying to achieve any kind of challenge or any kind of win or bout, what we want to be able to do is do that entire process. And if we do this process enough, and it's going to take practice and it's going to take training, we will start to see a real difference. And not only our willingness to get back in the ring and try in these bouts and challenges that are important to us or brought to our doorstep, but we will see a real difference in our success. Well, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you got a lot out of it. Maybe you learned a little bit more about emotional resilience and some tools on how to build it. If you would like to learn more about how to build your emotional resilience and start training, please consider joining the Start Right Emotional Resilience Gym. We have a plethora of tools that can help grow your resilience so that you can have a command of your emotions and start being able to use them for whatever it is that's most important to you. And if you're deciding that you might have something coming up in the future that you want to give a shot, maybe a real challenge or a bout that might be difficult, I would love to work one-on-one with you. So please just contact me so we could set that up. Until then, keep training and keep transforming and get in the ring.